What is up everyone, Alexis here. The last time I did a review on this guitar, the Legator N8FP Harry's Fate, it was on March 3rd, and now this past December 11 was actually a year since I got this guitar. And I think the review was incomplete. You see, 8 strings are a whole other realm. So now that I actually spent some time with it, now I can give you guys my honest review about it. The topics I'll be covering are the specs, the QC, if it's comfortable playing, the pickups, as well as a Fishman Tosinavasi, clean and distortion demos, and of course a high fret access test. The guitar features a double cutaway, solid body, 5-piece mahogany maple neck, bolt-on, a 26.5 to 28 inch scale length, ebony fingerboard, 24 frets of medium to jumbo, fixed bridge, locking tuners, 1 volume knob, 3-way switchblade, and made in South Korea. I want to go over some good qualities about the specs. First, the neck. The maple neck is really smooth to play and shred in. I've never paid attention to, these kind of things like the materials. Back in the day, I used to have this like caveman mentality of if the guitar is comfortable, then, it's good. Which I was almost right. And I gotta say the neck as well as the fingerboard are really great to play it on. The finish of this guitar is just beautiful, man. The Iris Fade is just stunning. The camera doesn't do it justice. The texture and overall look of the guitar is amazing. The locking tuners. Props to Legator for this, because these are really useful and I really like them. I've seen guitars that go up to $1,200 and they have regular tuners, and I think that's just absurd. Overall tuning stability is really great. Sometimes the lower strings will go a bit flat or sharp, but that's really normal because of the tension. And the G string actually stays in place. Now, this guitar has some hiccups in the QC. I remember back in 2018, 2019, Legator was being blasted online for their QC. And to start off with these problems, first is the fret edges. It's the first time I've ever encountered a guitar with frets kinda sharp. Not much of a problem. I read that a quick retulator to sand them down and it's good to go. But still, how did this pass through QC? The double truss rod. The guitar did not game set up. And honestly, I'm having a really hard time with it. When I've tried to, straighten the neck, I would get fret buzz all over the place. So logically, I would, one would say, just raise the action. Well, here's the thing. I'm a low action player. And I can just raise the action so much before I feel like I'm playing an acoustic guitar. And I don't want to be putting too much effort into pressing the strings. I could make a whole video about it. So you get this like medium action. Also, there's some fret buzz in specific frets, such as in the D, a G string on the 20th fret. Yes, both strings. If I had the action as low as I used to, there would be a lot of fret buzz all over the place. We have a lot of fret buzz between the 3rd and 4th frets all over the strings. And sure, some other problems kinda went away once I raised the action, but still, I don't like playing with a high action, especially when I played 7 and 8 string guitars with really low action, and they do really well. The next topic, the pickups. One of my favorite topics. Now, in my other video, where I go more in depth about the Fishman Tosinavasi, I made a whole rant about the pickups, and I will do it again. So this guitar was approximately $800 to $900, and it came with the passive hype humbuckers, which they are Legator's stock pickups. Now, if I'm paying $500, $600 plus for a guitar, I'm expecting good quality pickups, such as EMGs, Seymour Duncans, bare knuckle, or Lundgren. I think I said that correctly. You get the idea. I know the Hive were not terrible, but also they were not good. And especially for a price that I'm paying, I think the guitar deserves some better pickups. The lower strings will sound so muddy. And a good thing is that Legator is nice enough to put a battery compartment in their guitars in case you want to change the pickups, which, let's be honest, you're going to. For the next demos, I'll be running it through Neural DSP Archetype Gojira. I'll put a screenshot of the settings in the screen. And first I'll be doing a demo with the amp turned off and then the amp turned on, and then with effects using both pickups and using both voices. When you get the Fishmans, you have the option to change from a 3-way switch to a 5-way switch, to use all the tones. But let's be real, I'm not gonna be using all the tones, so instead of a 5 switch, I kept it at 3 switch. And I do apologize if it's a bit sloppy. You see, I've just changed the gauge of the strings. I usually use 9s, but they were not available. So I put 10s, and that's a higher gauge than I like to play. And between that and the higher action of, pressing the strings, it's kind of difficult. as you heard, the Fishman's Tusinavasi really shine on the cleans, and that's why I'm spending more time, with them playing and show you these demos, which I'm not usually a guy who plays a lot of cleans, so you're welcome. And a great thing about these pickups is when you pair them with this guitar, you can do this like fingerstyle playing, which I don't know if it's the correct term, but it's when you're like tapping with both hands. Here's a quick demo. Before I show you the distortion demos, there's a cool trick with the Fishmans that actually it comes in the manual when you buy the pickups. So I'll put a screenshot of what I'm gonna read around here, and I do apologize if I mispronounce something. English is not my first language, so it says, playing Fluence for the first time. There are several performance characteristics you will notice as you spend time with Fluence. There's a sense of immediacy and quickness of response to your playing. In contrast to traditional wire-wound pickups, individual notes within chords will retain their clarity even through heavy distortion. The low impedance volume control behaves in a more usable manner throughout its entire range without losing high frequencies and muddying up your tone. Players who like to use their volume control like a gain knob on the amp will appreciate the retention of clarity and dynamics all throughout the potentiometer's sweep. You may find yourself more inclined to allow higher gain at the amp or pedals and control the gain structure from the guitar. Fluence pickups are very low noise. If you're a high gain player, you may be able to change the settings of your noise gates depending on the pickups you've been using. So this is really useful for like players who like high gain, me. You can actually control, how can I say it? The overall noise of the gain of the guitar instead of like tweaking the amp and messing up your whole settings. Also, this is great for people who like that gent tone, which is, here's a quick demo of it. And now a high fret access test. As you can see, this guitar was made for shredding. I have to give this a 5 out of 5. The access to the upper frets is insane, it's really comfortable. Even though of the dead notes there, it's still amazing to play. As for it to be comfortable, I had to give this a 5 out of 5. You know, classical position, amazing. The belly cut in the back is really great. And you know, this like kind of like slope in the front for your arm, amazing. Also in the regular position, you know, any style of playing, it's really, really comfortable. Props to Legator for this. So the final takeaway, should you get this guitar? Sure, absolutely. This guitar is, you know, great for shredding, it's super comfortable. But you know, be prepared to spend even more money on changing the pickups and, you know, overall adjustments. That's the only downside of this guitar. You know, I have this guitar saved on my Instagram for years now, you know, when I was still back in my country, and when I finally migrated to LA and I could actually get it, you know, it was amazing, but also made me sad because I was really happy to get it, but then when I encountered all these problems, you know, it was kind of a letdown, you know, between that dual truss rod, the fret bus, and changing the pickups. I don't know, man. You know, these are problems that can be solved really quick to a visit to a luthier or tech, but then again, why should I even go in the first place? All of this should be clear in the QC. And yeah, in the future, I will absolutely get another Legator. If anything, I think I will get the Alex Herbal signature because that thing is just really amazing. You know, I'm an edgelord and I like that. Reminds me of the old school BC Rich guitar. I think it was the Joy Jordison signature. And I will also get these other guitars. You know, Legator guitars are really amazing for shredding and just overall, man. The access to the higher frets and, you know, the neck being really smooth, everything's just great. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, this was an honest review. I will always try to point out the pros and cons of anything. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. That actually helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.